Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Gooner Booth. We are previewing the first Champions League game of the season. Athletic Club, well, previously known as Bilbao. What's your thoughts, Wayne? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Tone. Yeah, it's one of them which you're going to lay out for us. The danger men. The only player I'd say, obviously, and this, I mean this in all due respect to him, would be obviously Iñaki Williams. I know his brother plays there as well, which you're gonna bring up. But I think it's one of them, like we said in our preview of the Champions League draw. That I think Athletic Bilbao, however you want to say it, Athletic Club Bilbao, you know what we're talking about. If we just shorten it to Bilbao Tone. I think it's at their stadium. Do you know what I mean? Let's not be disrespectful to a club we haven't sort of, we don't know a lot. Sorry, should I say? And I think it'll. You can go. No, you know what we're like, Tone. At sometimes with this team, I thought PSV away was going to be hard, and we banged 7 goals in. So I think what it is there's been a lot of talk, and we're going to discuss that as well. And I want to get your thoughts on it straight after this. But my thing is, go with the strongest possible lineup you can. If you have to make a few changes, we'll obviously discuss why we were picked ours. But I think you've got to go there with your first 11, because it's not a place to tread lightly, to take lightly. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be up for it, them fans. So what do you think, Tone? Do you think obviously we're going to go through our 11s, but do you agree with that?
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I've seen there's been a few shouts to rest some players, use an opportunity. It's the first Champions League game. You're away under the lights in Spain, and I don't care what you say. No away match in Spain is an easy game. The crowd's going to be up for it. Most of them grounds, the crowds are on top of you.
Yeah.
Players like Eze, or Madueke. Yeah, they've not had them sort of Champions League experiences.
They haven't played at all, apparently. This is their debut.
So I'm under the impression that we go strong. We get 3 points under our belt, get under a strong start. With some busy fixtures in the Champions League as well. There's no really easy fixtures.
Yeah.
There's a few home games that we'd say that's winnable, but this is one game. This is a difficult away fixture. Got to get through it. But yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think Arteta's going to take it lightly. I think he's going to go full strength. We'll get into our starting 11s later on in the show. But one thing that I did notice in reading the news, there was Iñaki Williams is out injured. He's been ruled out of the game, so that's probably a plus side because I had him down as my top dangerman. And no disrespect to Bilbao, I feel if he plays, he gets them going and gets them ticking. Yeah. However, he's not had a great season last season. So he's for some reason when he puts a Spanish shirt on, he's a completely different player. So I'm not entirely worried about this game. I think if we start strong, I think it should be a comfortable evening for us. But as you said, this is Arsenal, and we don't do anything easy. So we'll hopefully. One thing that I would say is that we set up strong for away games, and we do become hard to break down. So, one stat I did read: this is the first time ever that we're playing Bilbao in the Champions League. I have to really.
You said that off air. That's right, isn't it?
Before saying that, but that just goes to show. I mean, I don't know if Bilbao's been in the Champions League for a while, but this is the thing. This is how good the Spanish league is. Really, I don't watch a lot of Spanish, but we assume that most Spanish leagues that are in the Champions League have been there for a while because no game's easy. So, but yeah, that stat really surprised me. I was quite shocked by it. I had to check it on a few different outlets. I checked it on Google, ChatGPT, even. Literally, have all confirmed that it's the first time we're ever playing them. So that's going to be interesting. And there will be more reason for them to be up for it. They're going to be really up for it. It's their first game in the Champions League at home. We've got to be very careful. So I don't think we take it lightly. I think we go there, concentration's on point. We do our jobs. We do it well. We get out of there with 3 points. That's my thoughts on it. In terms of the Dangerman, should we get into the Dangerman?
Yeah, let's go for it, mate.
I've had a think, right, and these are sort of the players that I've sort of come up with. I'm not gonna lie, no disrespect to Bilbao. We've got a better team than them. We've got better players. I think Nico Williams would slot into most Premier League teams. But other than that, I feel like we've got a stronghold already on paper. My my concern picking out of this, right? They got Iñaki Williams, which is also Nico Williams' brother. He's getting on a bit. He's 31. He hasn't had a great start to the season. Looking at his stats, 4 appearances, no goals, 8 shots. But obviously, under the lights at the Champions League, that could easily change. The one that's sort of jumping out to me is Laporte. He's ex-City player. Come back. I think it's his home club. He's come back from Saudi League. He's going to be up for this because he's played in the Premier League. He's an organised defender, and I think he's not that old. So he's going to. So expect them to be well set up and well drilled at the back. Again, we've just got to take our chances. So yeah, what's your thoughts on the players I've picked? Does any of them jump out at you?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, exactly what you just said, Tone. If I'm not mistaken, and people can correct me as well, I think Bilbao are one of those clubs as well that their players have come from that Basque region as well. So obviously, I know I'm pretty sure these players that they have are sort of like they don't like to recruit outside of that, apparently.
Yeah.
So obviously, these are players that they've built up from the club, come through sort of like youth, most of them. I mean, I'm assuming anyway, the history is obviously is not my forte with Athletic Bilbao, But yeah, I think with Laporte, I think you've got an experienced international there, Spanish as well, sort of thing. There was a rumour, a light rumour, and I'm pretty sure it's obviously when the club's looking at, likes of obviously when Kivior's been, as we've said previously, was one that was going to be going. And there was also talk about him that we maybe explored bringing Laporte back with us as a backup. Obviously I'm not disappointed in our backup. We've got fantastic back four and subs in the foot. But yeah, he's one of them that I do still rate. When he was, and I don't know if it was from actual Bilbao, if I'm not mistaken, and he's gone back to the team. Obviously, if anyone who's out there can correct me, but yeah, I think he's a lead. He can be a leader at the back. He's a good defender, Tone. But it's just one of them games where when it's under the lights, players like that, he could surprise you by having an absolute worldie, and it could be a close game. I'm not overly expecting us to flatten them. I think they are there for the taking, but under the lights in their stadium, it's a different ball game than going to the Emirates under the lights. So yeah, I think he's going to be an important player from Tone. Iñaki Williams, you get players around Europe and you go, actually, I couldn't tell you much about obviously the quality of him because no one writes about him. All it is that at that club and why Nico Williams didn't move was because it's obviously his brother, his family, and that's what, as I said to you, the Basque region, that's what he is. So it's very much one of them. I would have said if Nico Williams was up on that list, I would worry, but I'd say let's show him some respect because again, it could be one of those games where it could be frustrating. And I think it's my starting 11, which we will get to, will sort of like show what I feel about it in terms of going there, getting the 3 points, coming away, get back on that plane, and let's get ready for Sunday against Man City, dude. So yeah, be interesting time. But I love this midweek football and weekend, and it's it upsets the missus, as I'm sure it upsets yours. But I love it, though. I love the fact it gets your mind off a lot of things. So it's I'm looking forward to it, Tone, because it's going to be an interesting one, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I love the fact that Champions League's kicking off. There's a lot of football to be played, and as we discussed on Saturday with the match reaction, that we've got a big squad now. We've got a lot of players. You could even the temptation might be for him to throw Martinelli in which I don't think he will.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that we've got the backup there to
Also,
do it. And what I would say about tomorrow, we've got a good bench. So if we're winning the game comfortably, make some changes. Like
of course.
I do think Arteta's going to be first 60 minutes. Let's go strong. Let's win the game. But he's going to have an eye on Sunday against Manchester City. Obviously, we'll get into the preview on Saturday or Friday regarding that. But one thing I did want to say, I don't know if you see the City game against Manchester United yesterday. I don't know if you watched it. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I watched it and I couldn't work out whether Man United were that shit or City were playing well. I think it's a bit of both really. But Haaland proved in that game that he will nick a goal out of nothing. So he don't have to exclude him.
So that's the thing.
We'll get into that, but yeah,
we will do. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a totally different game, but to quickly go on to that and move swiftly on, sort of thing. Yeah, this is one to watch. Time we'll have to, as I say, he's one of them players, Haaland. He showed that on yesterday. Sorry. So yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you there, mate. You've got to be careful of that. But if I quickly as well, mate, like you just obviously alluded to, I didn't want to interrupt you. It just a thought comes along. When a thought comes in, I'm like, let's make sure I don't forget. Like he said here, and this is what I want to make a point, what you've just said about having a good bench and we're not worried about it. Obviously, he's just said Jesus, Havertz, White and Ødegaard are out. And this is in Mikel Arteta's press conference. So them 4 players alone, who, if you think about it, would have been a year or two ago starters. Yeah. Even a year ago before Jesus done his ACL. He said as well, Saka's not fully fit, but you put Saka into them 5. I've just said, that's half a team, and we're not worried. So that's great depth, and I think I totally agree with you. We will obviously not to step so much onto our starting 11, but I wouldn't be averse to giving a Martinelli, a Trossard a go, even a Norgard. I don't think Norgard's fully fit anyway, but I can see the logic. But I think just let's calm the crowd down, and if you could be winning that game 2-3-0 at 60 minutes, then do it. I just think let's be professional first and foremost. I think there's plenty of games to rest the first team players. We've got Port Vale. This is a case of go there, get the win, and do it, Tone. But let's, as I said to you at the weekend, this is Mikel Arteta. We don't know what he's going to do. So I mean, we'd obviously debate that as well, Tone. But yeah, it's that's what you got to love. You got to love that because you don't know. But I think he will go with a strong team, but we'll discuss that.
Yeah, no worries. I think that's a nice segue onto our starting 11s. So we've both picked a starting 11. I think we've both got one player different. So we'll start with yours, Wayne. You've gone with Marino in that attacking role. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, it's something for us to debate, and I think it's going to be a healthy debate, dude. But if I explain myself first to everyone watching, why I've gone for Marino is, and again, what did I say to you the other day? Let's not rule out him playing Martinelli, whether he could maybe put Eze in the 10. But I've gone for this because I think you can't break what Gyökeres, Eze and Madueke were doing against Nottingham Forest. You need to build on that time. And whether it's a 60-minute build on it and you get 2-0, you get 3-0, I think, like Gyökeres, I don't think he'll sort of like rest him, but he does need a rest as well. So I think this is a game where you give him again 60, 70 minutes. And if he's done the business, scored, let's not say we're going to be smashing Bilbao because I think it's a difficult game time. I've gone for Marino because I think I'm trying to guess Mikel Arteta. Now I think you can have a healthy debate on who you've picked, and I think I'm going to let you have your say. But why I picked him as well is I think he's going to want to go for someone who's good in the air because I think he's going to want to try to control the game and get set pieces. If we can more than sort of likely with our front three score the goals, but I think Marino, I personally think that's what he's going to do. So, yeah. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah. So I'll show you my team.
Yeah.
I've picked a completely different kit as well. So I think we've both got different ideas.
Yeah,
Um,
I was trying to get
yeah.
the stripes, Tone, the red stripes on the, but it wouldn't let me do that.
Yeah. Close enough. I think everyone knows what we mean. We've gone with the same team. The only difference is I've gone with Wanyeri in there. And my reasoning for that is go for it. The guy, give him a chance. He signed a new contract for a reason.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I get why he's looking at Marino. He done well for Spain. He scored goals. Now it was okay on Saturday, but I don't think he was brilliant. And I feel like to play that role, he's played that role before for me, and he done it. Was it Liverpool? He went into that role. It was, wasn't it? He was in that role for Liverpool, right?
That's what that's what I was basing it on. Tone, the Liverpool game.
It was pretty dead though, wasn't he? I don't think he's not that sort of play. He's not that sort of player. I don't think he. You need a player that's going to be agile and get around. Wanyeri is very good at getting the ball turning, working in little spaces. And I think this is an opportunity for him to go, look, I've signed a new contract. Odegaard's injured. I'm the backup. He's obviously been told he's the backup. So play him in there. Throw him in there. He's going to have no fear. He's going to want to have that opportunity. I just think playing Marino in there is going to be a waste for me. I generally think if he plays Marino, that tells me that he's literally going to be doing we're done against Liverpool. Handbrake going to be applied. We're going to be trying to nick a 1-0 set piece. Don't need to. You've got that front four there with Wanyeri in that. Madueke, Gyökeres, there's goals in that for, and I think that let's express ourselves. We don't do that enough. We've done it. We do it at home against the Nottingham Forests, the Leeds. Go away in the Champions League. It's just, Bilbao will not sit in. I'll be surprised if they sit in. If they're at home in the Champions League, they're going to be playing their football as well. So it's gonna. I can see it being quite cagey to start off with, but then I reckon it will open up. But we've got players there that can open up. Wanyeri is one of them when he's playing.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I think if you've got Rice in there as well, you've got him driving that 8. Nick, in an ideal world, go 2-0 up, 60th minute, you can take your players off, take your Rices off, take your Gyökeres off, take your Eze's off, rest players for Sunday. But you can't go there with a handbrake on. I know what he's going to do. He's going to completely bore the place out. He's literally going my prediction is going to be based on what I think. And I think he's going to stink the place out. I think he's going to stink the place out. Defend the whole game, nick a set piece, get out of there. Whereas we don't need to do that. We're a better team than Bilbao. Yes, we're away from home, so the crowd's going to be very hostile because they always are in these away Spanish games. But go for it. We've got enough quality there to just throw him in there. It's not going to change the dynamics of our team too much. You're still going to have my favourite, the left back, reverting into midfield, which I fucking hate. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nketiah gets his debut at left back.
Yeah. Again, I'm not the first one to mention him, Tony. Shoe this time.
I was waiting for you to mention him. I thought I'd beat you to it.
You know what I was thinking now, and a lot of people have said that. I definitely think he should get a go at some, at that point. I just think he's like you've just said, and why I went for Marino is because I just think it's one of them games where you can go two ways, Tone. You can go out and out like you've done, which again I'm not going to argue with that. Me put Marino in was because I think that's what he's going to try to do in terms of a support striker role, more so into to nick these goals if you're struggling to break them down. As you say, it's tough because you unless you sort of like go on Twitter and go to these people that are going to take the time out and they've got enough time to assess how Atletico Bilbao plays, you're not going to know their approach.
I'm going to be honest. I've not watched Bilbao at all this season.
This is what I'm saying.
I'm no expert on Spanish football. I've done a little bit of research, but I just think that if you're looking at, sorry to interrupt there, Wayne. I'm just thinking with any Spanish club you go away to, in all the years I've been watching Champions League, or when Arsenal been in the Champions League, even the Europa League, when you go away to Spain and all the other clubs in Europe, it's never an easy game. And Spain in the Champions League, Spanish clubs in the Champions League, their fans get really up for it, and it's always a cauldron to go to.
To add to that as well, Tone, and I'd like to. I think there's a lot of fans which we discussed off air, and there's a lot of sort of like on our Twitter feeds and the Arsenal fans we follow and stuff that I follow separately. You know, they're going, let's either let's change all the team, and we're going to be winning. One of them went like, it's going to be like 6-0. I think myself, Spanish teams are much different than like a PSV. Whatever PSV were doing and their manager, I don't know if he did his homework or not. We were fantastic, by the way, and let's not take away the fact that was a fantastic Champions League night. It's great to watch. I don't necessarily think that Bilbao are going to be that way. I think we can score and I think we can beat them, but I don't think they're going to be as open as PSV were that day, because especially it's going away to Spanish in the Champions League, going away to Spanish teams, We didn't really, other than the fact that we had a flying Nito who was trying to do his Spider-Man impression outside of his box against Girona. And again, I think that was a crappy goal to concede. But again, your point could be quite valid because 1 year he played against Girona, and he also scored a very quality goal, if you remember. But I just think that's what he's going to do. See, he's obsessed with control, obsessed with not losing. So I think he'll know, being sort of like he was saying in his press conference, that where he lands, it's like literally an hour away from where his family are, where he grew up, so he more likely knows the kind of club, and he's grown up around there. So he's going to want to quietly, as you said, and not to step on your point, he's going to want to stink the place out, if you like, because it's control. And then you'll get a corner or a free kick. You've got a Rice or an Eze on it, a Madueke from the other side, dependent sort of thing. He's going to want to get a Moreno header in, or a knockdown in one of our players. You look at our back line with Gabriel, Timber and Gyökeres, not Gyökeres, I apologise. You can get his head, but he's not really a scorer, sorry. I mean, in terms of putting, if you had Moreno in there, he's got 3 players there that can attack a set piece. So I think that's why I've gone that way, Tone. And I agree with what you're saying and with your lineup as well. But this is the point of fan debates and what me and you do and discuss, because you never know what he's going to do. Personally, I think it'd be a disrespect to Bilbao if he goes and changes 6 or 7. But he might think, you know what, Hincapié can play this one. We'll rest Calafiori. Do you know what I mean? We haven't got much choice. I don't know if you know, Tone. Apparently, Saliba has travelled. Dalman's travelled. So I hope he doesn't play Saliba.
There'll be a temptation to, though, wouldn't there? There will be.
Yeah, but I think what you should do is, if he's feeling that he can come on, what I would do is start that lineup we've shown. And for me, the man you need to wrap up as well is Timber. So
yes,
if you play Calafiori or so. So I would say
Ben White's fit, right? Bring Ben White in for this game. He's not fit.
He's not fit, dude. No. That's why I said earlier. That's the 4. He's one of the 4, mate. Unfortunately, he's got another niggle. But I think
what you could do is put Mosquera at right back and bring Saliba in if he's fit enough. Then you're running the risk of him getting injured for Sunday.
Timber is obviously, I mean, I think he'll take that risk for the first 60 minutes. I think that'll be the back line. It could be a case as well as he may think, I'll put Miles Skelly on this one instead of Calafiori. I think he'll go with that one. And I think
what we could do is give Thomas Partey a call. So if he was to come back at right back for us for this game.
He does play for Villarreal. We might need him a bit there. Yeah. Not with these allegations, mate. We'll leave that one. We'll leave him in Spain.
He can stay. Yeah, he can stay right where he is.
Stay there. But that's what I think. What I'd like to see. I mean, Gabriel is working his way back, but I think if you're looking to get Saliba back on the pitch, that could be an option. or you could kind of sit there and go, all right, well, I don't think Timber should play 90 minutes. I think Mosquera's a young lad, and I think as much as it will be unfair on him, you're more likely looking at if Saliba's fit, then that'll be Mosquera out for the Man City game and Saliba in, which is fair enough because, again, Saliba's centre-half. It's the same with Saka. As much as I would say Madueke's been fantastic, if he feels that, Saka's fit, Saka's going to come on, but like he did with Rice, I think that's what you should do at the weekend against the Forest, I think you should do that with Saliba, not necessarily starting from the start, but go, all right, look, 60, 65 minutes. If the game's working in our favour, Mosquera to right, Saliba in, give him a half hour. So it's like getting back into it again for the game. And I think, if you're going to look at it, I'd say in Capie, it could be a time when, because he, as I said to you, he's not so necessarily a stay-at-home centre-back. He forays down the left as a left-back, even though he's said I'm predominantly a centre-back. It's really good, dude. He's like an overlapping left-back. So instead of inverting and annoying you, as I know you don't like that, in Capie in the second half, it could be a good measure of what he's going to do. So let's see, Tone. I think he'll, knowing him, he'll more likely start Martinelli. So it won't be Moreno. He might admire it. Yeah, as I said to you, he still more than likely rates Martinelli's work rate. So as I say, that's what the debates are. If he changes it, whatever the team is, we just love watching the Arsenal. So we'll see what it is, Tone. Definitely, mate.
Yeah, I think he'll start Eze and Madueke.
There's no other thing you have to, Tone. You have to, Tone. You have
just
to.
their desire to want to start in the Champions League for the first time.
Yeah.
So they're going to
be up for that. Them. You can't drop them for that, no.
No, and I reckon there'd be temptation to throw Norgard into the mix because I think he's going to be. He will have one eye on City. I think he will. And do you know what?
You have to, Tone.
He's going to have to. He has to have one eye on that.
You have to.
That's a big game in our season.
It's sorry cutting as well, but if you think about it, sorry, and I'll pass it straight back to you. But if he does use these 5 subs well, but this is one where you're going to think to yourself, let's get this game. They're important on the 5 players that he takes off that pitch for Sunday, isn't it? You know what I mean? You've got to.
I agree.
Got to get the right players off it. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah. Before we wrap up, please like and subscribe. About 30 subscribers since we've started, so we really appreciate all the support, guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Keep tuning in. There's going to be loads of content coming from us as there's a busy schedule of football in the next couple of weeks and some big games. So keep an eye out for content, guys. Cool. I think before we call it there, Wayne, what's your prediction for tomorrow night's game?
I'm between 2-1 and 2-0, Tone. I'd like to say that all right, put me 2-0.
2-0. Cool. I'm going to go over 1-0. I reckon he's going to stink the place out. It's going to be an away game. He's going to defend. He's going to probably start Marino in there. I fucking hate that he does that. He's going to stink the place out. It's going to be a 1-0. We'll probably score from a fucking corner. I hope not. I hope I'm completely wrong. I hope that we see the magic that we see against Forest, where there's some slick football. We're attacking. There's a bit of freedom there. But it's Arteta, and he's obsessed with not losing rather than playing attacking football. So I'd be more worried about what they can do rather than what we can do. So that's my worry. I hope I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. I hope we're sitting here tomorrow with another 3-0, but I can see us having a 1-0, and it'll be more like good performance, good defensive performance. But Eze was sitting there, his thumb up his ass because he won't be given the ball because he was too busy defending. So I'm hoping that we bit of magic from Nottingham Forest, Madueke and Eze had that little bit of freedom, you could tell. And also Eze linking up with Gyökeres. Let's see some more of that.
100%, Tone. 100%. As I said before, quickly to not waffle too long past the time because we're closing it down. But look at how he was with Mateta. He loves the proper out and out. out and out number 9 tone, and someone who just, that ball first time he knew where, and Gyökeres knew where he was going to put it, and that's how long they played together. So I think that's vitally important that he keeps that trio tomorrow night. But I think obviously it should be looked as well to try and get that goal to whatever he thinks, and then just rest them. It's vitally important that we have them 3 against City, especially if Saka obviously, I don't think he's anywhere near coming down. So playing, should I say? Sorry, but coming into the team is what I was trying to get at. But yeah, mate, it's very promising. And I think it'd be vitally important we continue that tomorrow night, mate.
Cool. We'll be here tomorrow for a reaction video. Hopefully, it's good news. We're not. It's not a ranting video because we've lost. He's stunk the place out. But yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Have a good evening, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care, guys.
Good evening, guys. Take care.